Okay, guys, welcome to my 26 books that I want to read in 2026. There's a lot of books that I want to read, and there's one that I really wanted to read, but I made this list and put it on my reading journal before I discovered I wanted to read that book. So, the honorable mention is Enchantra, which is the second book in Phantasma. That's one that I will be reading. That's probably going to be my first book of 2026. But it's not on this list because I did not finish Phantasma until after I did this list. So we're just gonna get right into it. I do want to read my first ever Fredrik Backman book, and that is My Friends. I honestly don't even know what it's about, but I've heard that for Fredrik Backman and for Kristen Hanna, it's way better to just go into the books not knowing what they're about because it'll just be that much more like hard hitting and heartfelt. So I do want to read My Friend. I did get it from Book of the Month, so I am so excited to read this book. Like, genuinely so much, because I've heard nothing but great things from him. So I do have 3 of his books. Only 2 made the list because the other one I bought it recently. But I do want to eventually, hopefully, if I like his writing and the books that I read, make my way through his catalog, just like with Kristen Hanna. The second book we have is Salem's Lot by Stephen King. So there's gonna be a couple of Stephen King's on this one too, just because I've been very much loving like all of his shows and all of his stuff. So I do want to read his books, and I love the movies that the books go with, so might as well read the books. We have Salem's Lot. All I know is about that it's about vampires, and I'm sold. And it's come on, it's Stephen King. I know he's a great writer. I've only read, I think, one of his books, and it's The Institute. No, I've read 2, and The Shawshank Redemption. The next one is also Stephen King, and it is The Shining. I want to read it. I want to experience it. I loved the movie, but I just want to love the book too. I also just finished watching Welcome to Derry, so I do want to read it, but it's not on the list because it is very long. But I do have The Shining, and I realized that one of the people in Welcome to Derry is in The Shining afterwards, so we're gonna see him here. We're gonna learn more about him, so that's always great. Then we have the other Fredrik Backman book, and it is Beartown. I heard that this one is so sad. All I know is that it has to do with hockey and a town. That's it. That's all I know, and that's literally all I want to know about it, just to like really get into it. But honestly, this is a beautiful, stunning cover that just has like the northern lights and everything, and it's just gorgeous and stunning, and I want to read it. Then we have our queen herself, Kristen Hanna. So we have The Woman. This one's also from Book of the Month, so I'm very excited to read it. I've heard great things about this book, and I've heard great things about her writing. Oh, it's also the Lolly 2024 finalist. I don't know what the Lolly Award is, but she was a finalist. Queen, slay. All I know is that a lot of her books have to do with like wars and like times of despair. I think this one has to do also with like World War II and something like that. Yeah, I think it's like through one of the wars, maybe the Vietnam War, being a woman during that. So we'll see. Then we have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have never read a Brandon Sanderson book. I don't think so. And I've heard great things about Mistborn. I do prefer like the British covers, but we don't have those here. So we got these new ones. These are better than the old ones that just had people on it. So I am excited to read it. All I know is that it's high fantasy, and that's all I know. And I want to get into it. I want to read the trilogy. Everyone says it's iconic. It's so good. So I'm like, I need it then. I need to read it then. You know what I mean? So that's what we're gonna do. And then we have another Stephen King, and that is Pet Sematary. I loved this movie. I feel like this movie is actually so creepy, and they say that the book is just as creepy and scary, which I'm so excited for because there's a lot of horror books that like aren't really scary. And obviously I know it's hard to make a horror book like scary because you have to set the ambiance and everything. It's not like you can just get jump scared like in a movie and stuff like that. But I did love this movie, and I feel like the book is just gonna be great. And then we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of our last Stephen King that we have on here, and that is 11/22/63. This has been on my 2024, I think, in my 24 books to read in 2024, and in my 25 books to read in 2025, and I have yet to read it. So we're hoping 2026 is the year that I finally read this. I've been wanting to read it because I did start watching the show when it was on HBO Max, and I did enjoy the show. So this one, I never explained Pet Cemetery just because they all have movies, so I assume everybody knows. So Pet Cemetery is when there's this like cemetery where you like bury your pets and they come back to life, and they're like ghosts and haunt you and all that crazy stuff. And that's why in the back it says sometimes dead is better than having to deal with that. Do you know what I mean? So then this one is about someone that goes back in time to try to prevent John F. K's assassination. John F. K. JFK. John F. Kennedy, whatever. That sounded weird, John F. K. JFK, John F. Kennedy. There we go. Trying to prevent his assassination. I don't remember what happens. I only saw like the first 2 or 3 episodes of the show, so I don't know how it ends. But everyone says that this is a masterpiece on its own. So like I need to read it. Like I need to. You know what I mean? It's also a chunky book. That's why I did not put it in here, because we're already reading 11/22/63, and we do not need just for the whole list to be Stephen King either. Do you know what I mean? Then we're gonna have 2 Sarah J Maas books here. We have Crescent City's House of Earth and Blood. So I'm excited to read it. This is her urban fantasy. I've only read from her ACOTAR series, and I liked it, but I wasn't like obsessed with it. People say that this book is a masterpiece, so I'm excited to read it. All I know is that it's urban fantasy, and it was gifted to me on my birthday in 2020. So I've had this since 2020, just sitting on my shelves, and I haven't read it. And I think it's been on a list or 2 of like books to read that year, and it has not been read. So hopefully this year is the year that we get it done. Then we have Legendary, the second book in Caraval. I'm not sure what the second book is about. I know the first one was about the Caraval competition, but at the end, I'm not gonna spoil it because something happens, and I'm just like, okay, so like what happens now? Like Caraval has technically ended, so I'm just not sure what's gonna happen, but I am excited to read Legendary. I wasn't obsessed with Caraval, but I heard that it gets better, so I'm hoping it gets better so then I can read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, because I do have the first book in that one, but I do want to finish this before reading that one, because they say you should. You don't have to, but you should to know the world, I guess. So that's what we're gonna do with that. Then we have, I am so excited to read this book. This is literally a book that I bought like in December, and we're in December still. Today is December 31st. And it's Ithaca. So this is Penelope's point of view of like the Odyssey. So like what she was doing while she was in Ithaca, waiting for Odysseus to come home to her. So in those 20 years, what she did. So I'm excited to see it from her perspective. I do want to read the Odyssey this year, the Iliad and the Odyssey, but that's going to be in like my classics that I want to read this year. And then read this in tandem with the Odyssey, just to see her point of view, and then Odysseus' point of view at the same time. And I'm excited. I do want to read all those 3 before July when the movie comes out, because I do want to see the movie, but I want to know like the story from like the books. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing. And then we're gonna keep it a little bit simpler. We have Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. This is the 3rd book in the Rebel Blue Ranch novel, and I think this is Gus's story with Teddy. So I'm excited because they have like a I hate you kind of thing, banter going on, and I have loved both of the other books in this series. They're just so good. I love Lila Sage's writing, and I love that she includes how do you call this, mental health in her books, because it just feels like it has that little bit more than it's not just like any romance. It has more depth to it. So I am excited for this book. I've been wanting to read it so bad, and I just haven't picked it up, but I need to read it. So that's my goal to do this year. And honestly, this might be one of the first books I pick up this year, because I am excited to get back into this world. So here's to hoping we get it read soon. Then we have Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I know there's like some drama going on because she's okay with AI and stuff like that. I don't know the whole drama, but I've heard that these books are really good, so I do want to read them. And yeah, and see how it goes. All I know is that there's like 2 storylines, the Magnolia one, and I don't know the name of the other girl, but we'll see. Some people like the other story better. Daisy Hates, I think it's what it is. Daisy's Story better than Magnolia's. We're gonna see. I don't know anything about it. I just know these covers are horrendous and the other covers are way better. But we'll see. Then we have, actually we should do those two in tandem later. So we have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I think this is also like a World War II, yeah, like what is this called? World War II historical fiction. I just read All the Light We Cannot See. So yeah, we can read another historical fiction about World War II. I'm already in the mindset of it, so why not? And that one is also based in France. I'm assuming this one is because I see the Eiffel Tower. So it'd be nice to see both of those perspectives on there, you know what I mean? Let's see how it goes. Let's just fix those books. Then I had to put something simple and easy in here because I always put like just super hard books or like classics. That's why I decided to make a separate classics one. But I am putting One Piece, the omnibus version with volumes 10, 11, and 12, because this will be a quicker, faster read and more attainable to like read with like all these other like chunky, bigger books. So I'm excited to read it just to keep going on the journey with Luffy, apparently Nami, and all these people. So we're gonna see. I'm just excited to keep going. We've got to keep going, do you know what I mean? Then I've been wanting to read this book for so long and I just haven't sat down and read it, and I know that it's a trilogy and they say that every book is so good. So I need to read it this year so that I could read the whole trilogy, honestly. And that is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I just know it's a cozy fantasy. She's a professor, I think, at Oxford, and she goes on like these missions, like these journeys, to like visit these towns and write about them. And I'm just like, yes, that's my dream job. That is literally my dream job. Emily Wilde has my dream job. So I want to read about it since I can't have that job. You know what I mean? I want to read about it and just experience it and read the other books because I know I'm gonna love it, and it's just sad that I haven't read it yet. That makes sense. Oh my god, my eyes. Then we have Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I want to read this one because this used to be like the it book and like booktube, not book talk, booktube in like 2013, 2012, 2014, because I was in high school watching those videos, and this is Polar Bananas books. Everybody was reading these books. So I do want to read it. It is a Netflix show. I hate that this is not a sticker that I can remove. I haven't watched the Netflix show just because I'm waiting to read the trilogy, but also I want to read the trilogy so I can read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom because they say those are way better. But I do want to read this first to like know the world because it just makes sense. That's kind of like with the Caraval thing. So that's the next book. Then let's see, let's do these chunky ones first. Then we have what people call Babel, but I call it Babel. I don't like saying Babel. And if it is Babel, I'm sorry, I will continue to call it Babel because I want to call it Babel. So we have Babel by R.F. Kuang. Not sure how you pronounce her name. Sorry. Yes, all I know is that it's dark academia, and that's all I want to know. That it's dark academia. That sold me. I also read The Poppy War by her, and it was a really good book, so I do want to read this one. I also bought Catabasis, I don't know, by her that I have to read, but I was just like, let's just do one more chunky book. We don't need that many chunks in here. We need some skinny ones in there to like, you know, to help us like get through the year. So yeah, I'm just excited to read it. That's all I can say. Then we have Muse of Nightmare by Laini Taylor. I've read Strange the Dreamer, I think in like 2021, and it's time for me to read Muse of Nightmares because like I need to finish it. I genuinely do. I enjoyed Strange the Dreamer a lot first in the beginning, then the middle just felt kind of like flat for me, and then I liked it in the end again. So I'm hoping Muse of Nightmares is better and like just all the way through is just like, oh my god, iconic. I know a lot of... Okay, so my SD card ran out of space, so I had to erase some stuff. So I'm hoping this one's better, more entertaining, and just keeps me more hooked, if you know what I mean. So I'm excited to read it. I do like her writing, so I'm hoping it's that much better. And I do want to read her other series. What is it called? I literally have the whole series. I don't know where it is right now. Like the Strange the Dreamer one. Is that what it's called? Strange? No, that's literally the first one of this one. Wow. The Dreams of Gods and Monsters, and I don't know what the first one is called. But I think the last one is called Dreams of Gods and Monsters. I don't know what that series is called. She's blue, I think. Is she? I know she's... Whatever. I want to read her other series. And then we have our next Sarah J Maas, and it's Throne of Glass. I do want to start both series. Yeah. Everyone says this one's better. I put Throne of Glass on here, but I'm not sure if I should read Throne of Glass first or Assassin's Blade. So if you guys can let me know what you think I should read first, please let me know, because I don't know which one to read first. I genuinely don't know. I'm not sure. So I do want to put Throne of Glass here. All I know is that she's an assassin. That's it. And that everybody loves this series and they say this is her best series. So I hope so. Because like I said, I enjoyed ACOTAR, but it wasn't like my favorite thing. Especially Nessa's book. I felt like it was just like smut after smut after smut after smut. And I was like, give me the plot. Give me the plot. Because it's too much. Like I don't mind a smut scene here and there, but when it's just that and no plot, I'm like, no, like give me more plot. That book could have been a lot shorter, but it wasn't. And you know what? It's fine. But it is what it is. Then we have The Son of Neptune, which is book 2 in the Heroes of Olympus. I do want to finish the series this year. That's a goal of mine, but we'll see. I want to be able to have read all of Rick Riordan's books. And I'm trying my best. I really am. So our goal is to read The Son of Neptune this year. This is where I think they run into Percy Jackson. And I'm just glad and like excited and happy to see Percy and the gang again. Because it's Percy and the gang. You know, it's like Cool and the Gang or whatever. So that's what we have there. Actually, let's put this one here. Those books are about to topple over. And then I want to start Clockwork Angel. By mistake, I put Clockwork Prince. I'm not sure which one's the first one. Clockwork Angel or Clockwork Prince. I think it's Clockwork Angel, then Clockwork Prince, and then Clockwork Princess. In my journal, I wrote Clockwork Prince because I thought it was the first one, but I think it's Clockwork Angel. So our goal is to read Clockwork Angel. I read all of the Mortal Instruments, so now I want to do the Infernal Devices and just see how it goes. See how it treats me, see where it takes me. Everyone says that this is the best that she's ever written. So I'm excited to read it and just see what we get from it. You know what I mean? And just have a grand old time. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay. And then we have Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I have only read from her Normal People. I enjoyed it, but it was nothing like, oh my god. Her books, at least based on Normal People, they're more like character-driven books rather than plot-driven books, which is fine. I enjoy those too, but I wasn't too obsessed with Normal People. I know some people love that book. I had a good time reading it, but it wasn't like one of my new faves kind of thing. So we have Conversations with Friends and see how it goes. To read another little Sally Rooney book and see if I want to keep reading her books, or maybe I read this book and I'm like, it's just meh. We don't really need to continue reading Sally Rooney. Do you know what I mean? And then we have The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. And I'm excited to read it because I read The Night Circus and I loved that book. I loved that book. It was 4.5 stars. It wasn't exactly 5 stars because I was a little bit confused at first. But I loved that book. It was great. I literally found a playlist on Spotify that's reading The Night Circus, and it was amazing. It was insane. It was great. And whenever I read that book now, I just think about Lana Del Rey's song. Oh my god, what's the name of that song? I need to know right now because like I did. Come on. Lana Del Rey. Let's see. Artist. Lana. Oh my god, I'm so upset. What is the name of this song? Lana Del Rey, Born to Die. I know it's from Born to Die. Oh my god, what is the name of this song? Bel Air. I love that song. I'm gonna listen to that song now after I finish this. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So yeah. it just reminds me of that. So I want to have that beautiful experience again with The Starless Sea. I don't know what it's about, but I know it's from her, by the author of The Night Circus, and that's all I needed to know, because her writing was beautiful, was magical. The way she created that world was just insane. So if this is just even half as good, I'll still enjoy it, because that was amazing. And you know what? Yes, let's keep reading amazing books, because that's what we need. And then we have 2 books by the same author, and those are the last 2 books. So we have The Song of Achilles and Circe by Madeline Miller. I have read her book Galatea. I was inclined to read The Song of Achilles because I am reading the Iliad, and we hear about Achilles and Patroclus, and like, yeah. So now I'm literally reading. I know Achilles and Patroclus here are dating, so now when I read the Iliad, I'm like, oh my god, they're flirting. What? So I'm excited. And then Circe, because I've been listening to Epic and like Circe and Odysseus. So if I read the Odyssey, I have to read Ithaca and I have to read Circe, because we have all these stories. And I'm like, is she gonna talk about Odysseus here? Yes, Odysseus is in here. So we're just gonna have a very Greek year. It's gonna be very Greek. My 2026 Greek year. Hopefully, God willingly, if it's my Greek year, we get to go to Greece this year. Goals. And if we do go to Greece, we obviously have to visit Ithaca, because come on. Anyway, I digress. These are the other 2 books. So it's Circe's story and Achilles' story. And that's it. I'm gonna have such a fun time this year reading. And I'm actually so excited for all of these books, because it's a lot of them. But it's exciting, and it's gonna be fun, and we're just gonna read it and have a grand old time. You know what I mean? And that's all that matters. So that's what we're gonna do. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know any of the books that you guys want to read this year. If we're gonna be reading any of the same books, you know what I mean? Just let me know. Let me know what you're doing this year, so we can have a grand old time just reading this year, because we deserve it. We deserve it.